I'm Emily Webb. I'm the Director of Government Relations for the Arizona Society of CPAs. This is our advocacy series on how a bill becomes a law. So any legislator can introduce a bill, and it can be a group of legislators introducing a bill together. They can co-sponsor. It can be an idea from a constituent or from a special interest group, but they take that idea, and again, I've been told it's kind of like ordering a pizza. You can bring your idea of what you want on that pizza to Legislative Council, and they will go through and put the idea into proper form for a bill. After it's in proper form from Legislative Council, then the bill is dropped in the hopper and assigned a bill number. And after that, it can be first read and assigned to a committee by the Speaker of the House or the President of the Senate, depending which chamber the bill has been introduced in. A standing committee is made up of Democratic and Republican members. So the majority party has a majority on each standing committee. So a standing committee is like Ways and Means, Finance, Appropriations. There's a whole slew of them. And each speaker or president can decide what the committees are. So, this year there's one called RAGE, which is Regulatory and Government Efficiency. That's kind of a new one. It's not one of the classics like Ways and Means. So when a bill is being heard in committee, the chairman of that committee decides, similar to how the speaker or the president decides which committee it goes to, that committee chairman decides whether it's heard in their committee or not. So once a bill has been assigned to an agenda by a chairman, then staff will provide an overview of the bill to the full committee, and then there's opportunity for public testimony. And after public testimony, the full committee will do a roll call vote on that bill, and if it gets a majority, it moves on. If it does not, then the bill fails in committee and does not move forward. So if a bill is passed by a committee, then it will be assigned to a rules agenda. And that is to ensure that it is in constitutional and in proper form. So again, by a simple majority vote, if a bill is ruled constitutional and in proper form, then it'll move on to the caucus process. So caucus is when the Democratic Party and the Republican Party all get together to discuss bills that have passed standing committees, because obviously every member isn't on every standing committee. So the folks who are on appropriations will talk to their full caucus about the bills that pass through appropriations, and the same thing will happen in the Republican caucus. Someone who's on Health and Human Services will go over the bills that were passed by that committee and discuss it with their entire caucus. So the Committee of the Whole, also known as COW, is the first time a bill is being voted on by the full legislature, or the whole. So this is when they go on the floor and they'll pass amendments if needed, or pass the bill as written by a voice vote. If there's contention, they will also do a roll call vote if requested by a legislator. So after COW, whether a bill is amended or not, if it moves forward, it will go to third reading. So that's when the legislature will vote, but it is a roll call vote. So that's when they hit a button on their desk, and whether it's green or red, either they're for or against it. And so there's a big board that shows everyone's name and if they're a yay or a nay. So after a bill passes third reading in one chamber, so say a Senate bill, it goes through the whole process, it's passed third reading, it's passed the full Senate, then it will be transmitted to the House, where it will be first read and assigned and start over in the committee process in the House. So once a bill makes it through both chambers, then the bill will go to the governor for signature. Then the governor has 5 days to sign the bill if it's in the legislative session. If the legislature has adjourned, she has 10 days. So if The bill goes through the regular process. The bill will become law upon the general effective date, which is 90 days after the legislature adjourns sine die. If it's an emergency measure, it requires a 2/3 vote in the House, not just a simple majority, and then it goes into law upon the governor's signature.
At the end of the day, it's important to be a resource for legislators on issues pertaining to CPAs, the profession, and licensure. Legislators are voted in by citizens of Arizona, and they're getting information from different sources and some topics they aren't familiar with. They may be an expert on transportation or the medical field, but are not necessarily versed in all things tax. That's why the ASCPA is an advocate for our members and all CPAs. We provide nonpartisan feedback by laying out the facts, ensuring the mechanics of the bill work in practice, and break down the effect proposed legislation would have on Arizona taxpayers.